Dorian is the third really important mode that you need to know by a modal name. Recently, I reintroduced the Lydian mode and the Mixolydian mode as separate videos. This is the third video related to this subject. When I use the name Captain Obvious, it is my humorous attempt to suggest that the really important things in music by themselves really are obvious. But they are also incredibly important, and as you learn each one, they build something huge that I believe all musicians need to know. As I have already taught, to play the Mixolydian mode, you simply play any major scale and then lower the major seventh interval to a dominant 7 interval. To get to the Dorian mode, you play that same Mixolydian mode and morph down one more note by flatting 3. The reason I am stressing only these 3 super important modes in their names is this. The whole world uses these names continually. We talk about this or that being in Lydian, Mixolydian, or Dorian, and there really are no other good names for these modes. Even though a major scale has a modal name, Ionian, we mostly don't use that name, so we don't really need it. A natural minor scale has the modal name Aeolian, but mostly we do not use or need that name either. The remaining 2 modes and their names, Phrygian and Locrian, are also important to me and certainly are very interesting. But we just do not use them very often or talk about them nearly as often as the big 3 modes, so we can get to them later. Dorian has been used in folk songs going back many centuries. Dorian is extremely common in modern pop music. It is also extremely common in jazz improvisation, and it is especially useful for chords. For instance, if I am playing in Dorian mode, then I have at my fingertips D minor, D minor 6, and D minor 7. These are great chords to improvise on, and this is really only the start of what we can do harmonically with this mode. Dorian is also extremely important in minor blues. In minor blues, you have 1 minor 7, 4 minor 7, and 5 minor 7. These 3 chords are central to the minor blues concept. For instance, in the key of C, your 3 chords will be C minor 7, F minor 7, and G minor 7. When I am talking about the key of C, I am using this label very loosely for both major and minor, and for modes within that general key area. Any minor melody that uses the dominant 7 interval and flat 3 immediately tells us that we are in Dorian. Here is a brief example of how that would sound in something very simple. I will simply improvise something to illustrate the Dorian mode. Now let's review and listen to C Mixolydian. Remember that this is the C major scale, lowering the 7th degree and the flat 3. Let's review and listen to C Mixolydian. Remember that this is the C major scale, lowering the 7th degree. Now let's hear how it changes as we flat 3 to turn it into Dorian. Now let's listen to the same Mixolydian to Dorian idea in the key of F. Finally, let's listen to that same Mixolydian to Dorian idea in the key of G. This should give you a pretty good idea of what the Dorian mode does. It is very similar to Mixolydian, but flattening that third note changes everything. It moves us from major to a minor feel, so this change is very powerful and very useful. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, leave me comments about anything that you like, and remember that I welcome all suggestions about how to improve this YouTube channel.